Hey folks, this is Slash and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I have done a bit of work off camera here, and I will show you the fruits of that labor as soon as the game loads up. Let's hit up the R&D section first, and you'll note we have 1,253 science. And that is because I have done quite a bit of science around Mun. You can see all of these are crew reports from various biomes, and I've got a bunch of EVA reports from various biomes, and material study from the Science Junior and Mystery Goo observation, etc, etc, etc. So, doing quite well. Temperature scans as well. Got quite a few. It says 70 out of a total of 159, so like there's actually, twice as many of these that I could get yet from the surface of Mun. But, unfortunately, most of the missions did not go very well. Let's back up and go to the science, or the tracking station, rather. So, here we are at Kerbin, and we can come over here to Mun. You'll note it's quite pockmarked with a whole bunch of different stuff, mostly flags, marking each landing site. As I found a biome, I wanted to mark that I had found it. But you should note a few things. One, we have what I'm calling a Mun base, which is actually just Kerman in a moon lander, or a Mun lander, that didn't have enough gas to get back to Kerbin, so he is stuck in orbit around Mun. And you'll note 7 Mun bases. These are landers that, despite my best efforts and because of my inability to remember to quick save most of the time, all topple over on landing. So these Kerbins are all stranded on Mun, including Jebediah and Bob. We got Melzy there, Milleroy. There's Bill, so the big 3 are all stuck right now. Halcott and Wilcott are there. And there is a 9th that accounts for 8 of the 12 missions. The 9th mission actually exploded on impact, so we lost that Kerbin, and the final 3 were the ones that successfully landed, gathered science, and returned safely to Kerbin. And it is with their contributions to the society here that we will attempt to rescue our Kerbonauts stranded on Mun. So we're going to go through the tech tree to start out. Whoa, hello. There we go. And see if we can't get the requisite parts to do something useful here on constructing a rescue vessel. I think the main problem I had with the lander that I had designed is the same one that I used originally, the Eclipse ship design. I made a few tweaks to it. Let's see. Got bigger landing struts. And we've got a bigger parachute, or a... It's a drogue chute. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and pick that up. That seems reasonable. What do we have here? Precision engineering. Okay, that's for like probes. I don't think that's useful. That's for the ships, or for the airplanes. Alright, here's bigger command pods. SAS modules. We got a lander can there. That's probably important. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And then, what does that unlock for us? We have another module there. Has a capacity for how many? High visibility control room for orbital stations. Okay. And then there's a Mark II lander can, seats 2. And we got a large RCS fuel tank. I think that's a good idea. We'll pick that up. And let's see, what else do we have available to us now? Oh, we have the nuclear propulsion. I think I want that, definitely, but we'll hold off for now. We might need to budget our science. Oh, we got the orange tank and the mainsail engine for the big engines. That might be the way to go. Oh, and here's docking type stuff and adapters. Docking ports. What do we have here? Advanced Metalworks. This is some other stack separators and whatnot. Down here, large electronics. Okay. And these are... Okay, that's something for science. Some additional... These are like rover things. These will be very cool. Man, I think we need to pick this up, though. Because I think that big orange tank is going to be very important for our efforts here. Alright, let's see what we can do in the construction of a vessel for rescue purposes. We need something that can hold multiple Kerbins. So, let's see here. Let's see. It says minimum crew. Oh, crew capacity is on the main thing. Okay. Lander can. These are probe ones. I think we're gonna stick with this as our main... No, I don't think we can do that. Hold on. I think we gotta go with something with larger crew capacity. So the lander can, I think that's what we're going to use. Because we can dispatch this craft with one crew on. It says minimum crew to operate one. We can dispatch it with one and pick up, land near somebody else's location, pick them up, and return home with them, hopefully. We're going to dispense with putting any science on here, because we're not really... It's a rescue mission. Let's get... I want center of mass on here. I want to try and keep the center of mass fairly low on this if we can. Now, okay, we're talking about that size. We have... Okay, we got... That's a fairly small tank. I don't like that. Let's go with this. Actually, do we have adapters? Where are the structural... I want to... That's not the right size. I think I didn't unlock the right size ones. Did I? No, because that's that. Alright, that's fine. I was hoping to create like a wider base for this, but why don't we try doing that this way? We'll put that on, say, here. That might do the job. Now, let's see. What do we have for landing legs? Let's use the big ones. Put those on right there. That should give us a nice wide berth for the... Now, I'm gonna replicate this around the edges once I have it figured out. You know what, though? I should separate this out. Where is my decoupler? We should have it like so. So that we can detach that. And then we're gonna need parachutes. I think that's the one we want. Double-sized version of the Mark 6. I don't know where that is. Oh, that's the hitchhiker can. Nah, I think we'll keep going with this strategy. I keep changing my mind, but I think we're going to keep going with this. Now let me get some struts in here. So I'm not super happy with the way that this looks. So we're going to go ahead and attach a strut here in the middle. We're going to attach it onto, say, there. I don't think that's going to cause us any problems, because I don't think it's going to stop the... let's call this Rescue 1. And save it. I don't think that's going to cause any problems with the boarding or deporting of the Kerbins. Alright, now let's get engines on here. I want the smaller engines. Oh, you know what I might want to do, actually? Hold on, let's get rid of this. I have an idea. We'll redo that in a second. Let's get the small Where are they? I'm looking for the decouplers. Here we go. Let's get these ones that ride close. Slap that on there. And then we'll go with... You know, I think we're going to go with this one. Just to be on the safe side. Keep things a little bit more in line with the size conventions we're going with. And we'll go ahead and get this attached. Like so. Okay. And we need this. Oops. This. Like that. And then I want the landing legs. And let's just put those there. Make sure... Extended. Okay, they don't cause us any problems there. Actually, those extend out pretty far, don't they? Compared to the other ones. That's good. That's exactly what we're looking for. I want to be able to drop these off because I want to be able to use this as a supplemental stage if necessary. So let's go ahead and pull this chunk off and we'll replicate it like so. You know what? Let's do it this way. Okay. So there's that. Oh, you know what? RCS might be a good idea for some fine-tuned controls. So let's go ahead and slap those on there. We'll put them right about the center of mass. Good. And then where are my RCS fuel tanks? The real small ones. There we go. And we'll just mount those on right over top like that, maybe? Turn this off. Okay, so I think that's going to be our lander. Now we gotta get it up into space. And that's where it's going to be a bit tricky. Slap that. Alright, I think that's the way we're gonna do it. And see how it goes. So, now let's set up the staging. We're going to launch those, and we're going to do all 4 of these at the same time. Right. Now, we break off those. Oh, actually, where are these? Those guys are up there. These guys need to come down. You will release when everything fires. Alright, then we release the boosters. Then, we gotta be tricky with this. We are flowing this way, so I want this one specifically. Let's open these up. Specifically, this one, which is this middle one. You go there, and I also want this one, which is that one. Okay, you go there, and then you should be both of these other two, which I can't easily verify. Okay, here we go. Yep, those both light up. Right, and then we launch this one, and then at some point we separate that. Okay, and then we fire these guys. And at some point we separate those, and we're just on that. Then when we separate this one, we also fire that one. Whew! Alright, I think I've got all the staging correct for it. Next up, let's make sure we got our action group set up for the solar panels. I want this to be custom 1, toggle panels. And then our crew, we're going to just send Patton so that we have an empty seat. Alright, let's give this a shot. Alright, our hope here is to get to the moon, use this lander with its wider base and lower center of gravity to land upright next to our stranded Kerbins and transfer them over. One at a time. One mission at a time, most likely. So, let's see how this goes. Gonna throttle up about 2/3 to start just to see what kind of reaction we get, and then we'll go from there. And here we go in 3, 2, 1, launch! Ooh, you're a big heavy tub, aren't you? Okay, full throttle. Oh man, hopefully those boosters are going to be enough to accomplish the lift that we need. Got quite a bit of rotation going on here as well, which I'm not a fan of. I think we're actually running out of liquid fuel in the 2 of these outer tanks a little bit faster than I'd like. These guys, let's see, 23, 22, solid fuel. We might have the solid fuel boosters going when we run out of fuel in 2 of these inner tanks, which I did not anticipate. Well, we'll just have to hang on to them. We're also overheating a bit. Drop down just a tad. 80%. Just to stop that overheat, because I don't need this exploding on me. It's a very big, heavy ship. And these solid rocket boosters aren't, like, they're not the biggest. Yeah, I don't like this fuel burn ratio at all, because we're getting liquid fuel we're going to run out before the solid rocket booster, so I'm going to be hauling that dead weight for a little while. We're going to have to stage twice in rapid succession here pretty soon. Not to mention the fact that we're now losing some velocity. Alright. Drop those. Drop those. Drop that down a little bit so that we don't overheat. And we're losing speed. Alright, you know what? I hate to do this, but I'm gonna turn that engine on just to try and get some kind of speed going here, and hopefully we won't need to use too much of that, but I think this ship is just too heavy in its current design to get off the ground. I may have to revisit the Minmus craft. What was that? Dessert? I may have to revisit that to look at how I actually designed it and come up with something similar in principle to that craft, just with the larger scale parts. Coming up on our gravity turn here pretty soon. Execute that now. A little bit of a lumbering craft. Alright, as an experiment, what happens to my speed if I turn that engine off? Still going up. Alright, I think we're going to try to save that as much as we can. What is our trajectory looking like? Doing decent. I'd like this apoapsis to get to at least 30 seconds ahead of us before I pitch over any more than this, though. It's a bit hairy flying a new design. the eclipse design that I was using for getting to the Mun was a design that I had used successfully in the past, so I didn't really have a problem with using it other than the landings, because it was familiar to me. And this, I don't know. I don't know if we've got enough oomph here to even get this craft into orbit, let alone out to Mun and back. Let's look at that, we're only at 21,000. I mean, this can start picking up pretty rapidly. Oh, and that stage is spent. We'll jettison and engage our engine. And hopefully not contact. Woo! Oh, we're catching up with our apoapsis pretty quick here. Our orbital speed is actually decreasing. It's picking up a little bit now, but I don't think we're even getting to orbit with this one. No, darn it. Alright, so this design was a miserable failure. Let's just ditch that. I know that this is a working design. So let's see what we can do moving forward from here, shall we? We definitely want that. And then I'm thinking maybe... Whoops. I believe the Minmus booster design is something along these lines. And I'm going to try a little trick here to see if this helps at all with the overheating. If we restrict the fuel flow somehow by putting that there. And let's go ahead and put the main sails on here. Do these gimbal? Vectoring range, yes, okay. So they gimbal, that's good. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to get our trusty decoupler going. Put that there. And then we'll grab more of this.